Here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood. We have the old school, we have the RTS veteran himself, the German Zerg player, living in the land of Canada, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is TLO. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Protoss player representing Matcherino Esports. Used to be on Alpha X. It is Arrogfire. Oh, let's go. Now, as amazing as TLO looked in that last series, that was a ZvZ. And I mentioned it earlier, ZvZ is a matchup that hasn't really changed over time. It has kind of stayed persistent over the years, and a lot of your Link Bane control, Roach Ravager play as well, it all just kind of comes back together. You know, it's like riding a bike, is what I should say. Like riding a bike. Openers have been around for many, many years, and it's still being used to this day. In saying that, oh my god, Arrogfire, calm down. As he even delays a spawning pool for a second, and every second does count in StarCraft, so very cheeky move here out of Arrogfire. But what I was about to say is that PvZ is a matchup that has been evolving over time, that has changed, and it is something that you do need to adapt to. Even in current meta, for example, over the past, I mentioned it earlier, TLO, he hasn't competed and he hasn't played in anything since November of last year, so it's been 9 months. And in that time, we've had the revelation of the 15 hatch, for example. The 15 hatch opener or the 14 hatch opener to make sure you can get your natural base up and running. In that time, that was when the rise of the hidden Twilight Council Glaive Adept opener came out. Basically, it's a Stargate opener, Oracle into a third base, into Glaive Adepts instead. That has kind of been popularized over the past, I would say, 5 months. So again, there are certain builds that TLO may not be aware of. Those are just a couple that come to mind. Double Robo Colossus styles as well. That's kind of been rising and popping up a little bit more prevalently recently as well. Things like 8-gate all-ins. But I do worry a little bit for TLO. I guess it all depends on what Arrogfire is willing to bring to the table. So far, it is going to be a Stargate opener, but this could still be for quite an aggressive style. More than anything, though, it should be for a third base. As TLO is getting ready back at home, pulling out of gas, working on link speed, saturating his bases as well. And once this first Oracle comes out, Arrogfire should then be working on his third base. Before that happens, the first 2 Adepts are across the map. Again, 2 Adepts do one-shot drones, and they're looking for some economic damage. They're looking for some drone kills. Lings are here in time. Oh, one drone does get picked off. So far, not a bad start for Arrogfire. Takes a bit of hull damage, but hasn't lost any of his Adepts yet. Oh, as he gets another drone for the price of an Adept. Well worth it here for Arrogfire. He's going to be racing back home, going towards his third base. And you could argue that this third is a little bit vulnerable, and here we go. The Lings are diving on that Adept. If the Adept goes down, that means the third is going to be delayed. Oracle doesn't turn back around, though. Arrogfire, he's committing. Spore is already done here at the third base. Natural is exposed, but there's nothing to kill. And Arrogfire, he's forced to cancel the third. Again, just not respecting TLO enough. He didn't turn back around with the Oracle. He didn't respect the Lings. Second Oracle comes out, but it's too late. The damage has been done. Even though TLO lost 2 drones earlier, this is well worth it for TLO. Bleeds out a couple of Lings, but again, getting those Adept kills, getting map control. A really powerful start here for TLO. But Arrogfire, he's not going to take this lying down. You know, he's still working on his third Oracle. He still has a lot of aggressive potential here. And well, we have the follow-up. We do have a Twilight Council. I don't see a Forge. I was talking about that build earlier, about the Oracle into a third base, into a hidden... Okay, no, never mind. I was going to say into a hidden Glaives, but no, this is not going to be Glaives. There's that Forge. And the Robo. Is going to be a standard transition from Arrogfire, but it's going to be delayed transition just because of the late third base. Meanwhile, the Adepts do arrive across the map. Lynx are in position. The Adepts are going to be going down. Oh, can we get one more? We cannot! 2 Adepts go down for only 1 drone. The Oracles, they're going to get a little bit more damage. Oh, as they do shark around. Not too bad here from Arrogfire. Behind this, we're getting to charge, not into blink, alongside +1. Things have arrived. We're looking for some damage. We could potentially even go for that sentry. We do force the activation of the pulsar beam with that run by. Oh, and now we come back in. We want that sentry. We're going to get it as well. TLO with such good pickoffs. This I'm concerned by. So TLO, he hasn't really seen too much. He did see a Zealot. That should be a tell. But TLO is going for a Hydra timing. I want to say this is intentional. He's got 1 Hydra Den over on the right-hand side. He's got another towards the left. We have Hydra speed on the way soon. Hydra range. TLO. Oh my god. So, I'm worried because Ling Hydra can struggle against Chargel Archon. Chargel Archon, they do so well against Ling-based units. It's usually Bailings and Roaches that kind of keep them at bay. So, to see this Ling Hydra timing not against Blink Stalkers, I'm not convinced. We'll see how it works. By the time the Hydras hits, charge is going to be done, +1 is going to be done. The Templar Archive's just finished. Arrogfire is getting ready to warp in High Templar across the map and just lay siege upon his opponent. This is going to hit like a truck, and TLO, is he going to be ready for it? There are High Templar on the way. They're going to be morphed into Archons. We see Lings going for a counterattack across the map. The Zealots have arrived. Hydras are here. And again, they need that Link support. So far, there are plenty of Links here, but we do need to kite. We do need to be careful. As more Archons are on the way. You see TLO, very delicate dance here. Going to try and dive on this army. And he has so many Hydras available. He should have enough to deal with it. Archons are pushing forward. But the Zealots are gone. Without the Zealots, there's nothing to support these Archons. And alone, they can't really do too much. Arrogfire is being forced back. He's going to try and trade as best he can. He goes for the recall. Oof. Will barely escape. And now TLO has quite a bit of momentum going his way. You have a Lurker Den on the way as well. That Hydra timing, I'm sure he wanted to be aggressive with it, so he's not going to quite be able to hit it. He's of course pushing out now. But I do worry here. I do worry that the Hydra's going to be caught out, and this is the problem with Hydras. They can't support themselves. The Zealots, they do shave off a good chunk of them. They need Lings to help buffer. Also, 4 Hydras going down. TLO has to back off. Colossus are on the way. Second rover for double Colossus production. Arrogfire gets his 4th base up and running, and Arrogfire is actually ahead. He's ahead in the economy, I should say. He's ahead economically. TLO has to take another base. Try to catch back up. Taking very quickly into Lurkers. What's interesting is that TLO doesn't have an infestation pit, which tells me that he's purposefully staying on a low drone count. He's being pretty committed with this. There's going to be a very strong Lair Tech Lurker timing. No Hive on the way. No Hive Tech Lurker upgrades. Here we go, pushing on forward. We're going to get within range of this base, and we may even just take it down. Do we have any detection? We do have an observer with the army. We have the Revelation as well. We see Arrogfire just collapsing on this army, and the Lurkers are going down one after the other. Yeah, the army of TLO just melts before these Archons and these Colossi, and from here, Arrogfire, he can snowball out of control. He can just warp in a wave of Zealots. He can push out across the map. Looks like Arrogfire is going to back off. And just consolidating his army, looking for a better angle of attack. Now TLO, now he has that Hive on the way. But he already lost so much. That was an expensive loss for TLO. He lost every one of his Lurkers. That was 6 lurkers down the drain. Doesn't have any left. We are running out of zealots. Again, it's one of those things without zealots, these hydras can actually do a lot of damage. As we barely do deny the warp, and we take down the warp prism, and TLO, he can chase us down. Oh, he's losing a lot of hydras though. Oh my god. The Colossus just rained down upon the hydras and lurkers, take everything out. That was not an efficient trade for TLO. I'm afraid to look at the units lost tab. We can see, actually, you know, trading fairly well gas-wise. Not so much with the minerals, but that was a lot of the Archons going down for Arrogfire. TLO trying to get into a longer game. With these, of course, with this hive, you can get into Vipers, you can get into lurker upgrades. But the Colossus, they still push through. We're not slowing down. TLO trying to set up a bathing run by. Lurkers are trying to come in from behind as well. But lurkers are getting picked off. It just feels like Arrogfire, with a wave of reinforcements, he should have enough to break on through. Say that he's setting his zealots out to the right hand side to harass instead. Like, this army is still looking very like vulnerable. It's looking very it's on the knife's edge. Arrogfire is going to be so careful. Another Archon goes down. Here come those zealots to reinforce. Fifth base goes down. And here we go, TLO trying to collapse on these Colossi once again. This time he may get one. One Colossus goes down, but TLO loses everything else. And now it looks like Arrogfire has snowballed out of control. He takes down the mineral line. GG gets called. Arrogfire takes game number 1. GG. Very well played. TLO trying to be a little bit cheeky with that Hydra timing was really cute. And I think it was okay. I'm not too fond of the Lairtech Lurker timing. I'm not too fond of that. We saw that he didn't really achieve anything with that push when he went towards the third base. With those 6 lurkers, he got within range of the Nexus, but he lost everything. He lost absolutely everything in that attack. And from that moment, TLO was on the back foot. From that moment, he was struggling. Just because he threw away those 6 lurkers. And yeah, it took it. And then from that moment, TLO, he was forced to tech up into Hive, forced to tech up into Vipers, and it wasn't really the game plan there initially from TLO. That's why it was a bit of an awkward transition for him. From that, GG. GG, well played. And with that, we are getting ready for our next game. Fiant may have struggled and failed against TLO, but here, Arrogfire, he's looking strong. It's looking good. Looking powerful. We are looking for some updates. Oh, it looks like, yeah, a couple of the quarterfinals matches are underway. Quarterfinal matches even are underway. Gimme versus Baby Marine has commenced. So that TVT is ongoing. Here we go, the beeps are upon us. Our next game is going to be taking place on Ancient Cistern, which I would say is maybe a better favored map for TLO, but we'll see. We'll see. Because again, he's a bit of a quirky player, a little bit wild, a little bit crazy. I mean, he went for a double Hydra time, like double Hydrogen timing, double upgrades. He's crazy. And here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern. We have the Ancient. The Ancient? Oh no. We have the German Zerg player representing Shopify Rebellion, living in the land of Canada. It is TLO. I'm still waking up, okay? Spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Protoss representing Maturino Esports. It is Arrogfire, leading the series 1-0. Oh. Here we go. Arrogfire just gonna be going for a gate expand, as to be expected. TLO, ooh. You're just going for a hatch first. I was like, did you go for an extractor trick? And no, it's okay. Just going for that hatch first. Into his gas. Into his spawning pool. This was a bit of an earlier gas geyser, which is really interesting. This is typically very meticulous out of TLO, so I'm really curious as to the purpose of this. And that was a 17 gas and a 16... No, I think it was a 15 spawning pool, right? Yeah, it was a little bit different. A little bit different from TLO. But again, from here, he's able to get his natural up and running. And able to get things going. Ooh. So I wonder what the plan is going to be for TLO. So the reason why I brought up the map and why I said that, you know, this may be better for TLO is that Ancient Cistern is very large. It's very open. That's the biggest thing here. It's very open, especially in the center of the map. Because of that, you can get some really good engagements. You can get some really good surrounds as well. Jesus, we are getting to really fast. Link speed. Link speed is on the way. We're pulling out immediately. Interesting. But yeah, it's really wide open, so you can take really favorable engagements in the center of the map. You can specifically get surrounds and just set up for better angles of attack. So that's something that TLO can take advantage of. As he attempts to go for, he's being punished a little bit here. He's attempting to go for a third base, has to bring out 2 drones, and he will be able to expand. Was delayed for a moment, but is able to get it up and running here without being forced to make any links. So really greedy stuff here out of TLO, delaying his link production. And by the time the Adept rocks up, like, link speed is almost done already. And TLO's committing quite hard. Again, we did notice the earlier gas, the earlier link speed, and here we go. We have quite a lot of links being banked up here. We're not going for a massive link flood, but it's still a lot of links nonetheless. TLO just getting ready to dive and, I imagine, shut down these Adepts. Oh, it looks like we weren't... Oh, sorry, we weren't committed to shade. We do get one of those drones, but these Adepts are going to go down. So really nice catch here from TLO. With the death of those Adepts, TLO can now move out across the map and he can delay the third base. That's going to be the goal here. TLO was able to do so in that last game. We'll see if he can do it again. Meanwhile, Arrogfire, respecting the links of his opponent, is keeping his first Oracle back at home. You love to see it. Arrogfire, he's adapting to his opponents. Links rock up, but the Oracle is here this time. Let's go. If you remember, last game, Arrogfire actually had a really rough opener. He stumbled out the gate and he was forced to cancel his third. As the Lings have arrived, and the third base should be safe and sound. Oracle does swat the Lings away. And TLO is going to be looking to defend against these Oracles. So far, again, no damage. Oracle does get swatted. TLO already going to be going for his fourth as well. And Arrogfire is going for a very different transition. So he's going to be delaying his Twilight Council. He's going for the Showtime build. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. So Arrogfire, he's going to delay his Twilight Council by a lot. He's going for a faster Robo and a faster Forge. With this, he can get into upgrades. He can start working and taking towards Immortals and even Robotics Bay and Colossus. The reason why or the kind of byproduct of delaying your Twilight Council means you don't really have too much of a map presence on the map. It means you can't be active with Blink Stalkers, you can't be active with Zealot Run-bys, because Arrogfire doesn't plan on being active, he plans on being a lot more defensive instead. Showtime, yeah, there we go, Immortal production is commencing. Showtime does this a lot. Showtime, he's a very, as you can imagine, a defensive player, and he just turtles up on 4 bases before eventually moving out with a massive Immortal Archon army. Robotics Bay commencing as well to get into Colossus, to get into Disruptors. Oh, as the Oracles get into the main base, 6 drones go down. My god, and only a bit of hull damage was done, so very nice harassing damage here from Arrogfire. Now we have the Twilight Council on the way. From here, I think we should even delay the upgrade and go into a faster Templar Archives for Archons. But regardless, Arrogfire just being very defensive back at home, setting up with his Immortals, getting shield batteries. Oh, and TLO does see this, by the way. With his Overlord, he does confirm the tech. But even more drones are going down. Queen's just not able to keep up. We do take down one of those observers. Sorry, Oracles. Take down one of the Oracles. And we're going for a Spire. Very hidden Spire here in the main. Oh my god. Meanwhile, I assumed the Twilight Council was for a faster Temple Archives. It's for a Dark Shrine. And Charge, of course. 4th base is on the way. Disruptor production is commencing. Now, what's good here for TLO is that we have very little anti-air. There's no blink. There's no blink. There's no stalkers. There's no Stargates. Oh, sorry, there's a Stargate, but there are no Phoenixes. Currently, there's no Archons either. So there's a lot of potential for these mutas, but as I say that, the hallucinations, they dive in, they get into the main, they confirm the Spire that's about to finish. Phoenixes immediately in production. Arrogfire, he's getting ready for the mutas. It's almost an amazing move here from TLO, but he is spotted. 11 mutas are on the way. Revelation does get confirmation that TLO didn't cancel the Spire. And we'll see how Arrogfire is able to keep up with this. Cannons, 1 in each mineral line. Shield batteries as well. Phoenixes are banking up. Archons and Stalkers would be good as well. At the moment, we don't really have too many of them. There we go. Archons are on the way. Archons, they have solid anti-air, but they are quite immobile. So we'll see if TLO can get damage done. As he is diving in towards the main. Arrogfire just turtling up back at home. Mutas do reveal themselves. They're going for the pylon. They're looking to depower that Stargate. Oh god, but it's costing quite a bit of these mutas. The pylon even survives as well. Oh my god. Does get the pylon in the end. And yeah, these mutas, they're not getting too much done. 5 mutas. 5 mutas for 1 Stalker and 1 pylon. Not a single Phoenix went down. Really good control out of Arrogfire. TLO, not the best trade. Behind this, he's amassing a Roach army, but Arrogfire, he's already got a solid anti-Roach army. He's got Immortals, he's got Archons, he's got Disruptors. He's ready for this. His army is just so beefy. And we mentioned this earlier, like again, Arrogfire, he hasn't been active at all on the map. No run-bys. I mean, he's been active with Oracles, and he's been getting damage done with Oracles, don't get me wrong. But this entire game, Arrogfire has been staying at home, building up his Disruptor count, building up his Immortals, building up his Archons, working on this death ball of an army. And TLO's got to be careful. Oh god, he does lose almost all of his mutas. Ooh. But TLO does have to be careful, because if he takes a bad trade, then things are going to snowball into a victory for Arrogfire. Things will snowball out of control if TLO does trade too poorly. TLO is going to be the first player to max. There we go. Hive is on the way. He may be thinking about a Greater Spire. Or just Vipers. God, look at all these look at all these Archons. There's so many. And here we go. TLO, he's bypassing the army. He's going straight for the mineral line, going straight for the 4th base. And this is what I'm worried about. The Banelings, they take down the mineral line. Sure, they get 13 probes, which is good. But he's going to trigger a counterattack. He's going to trigger a massive counterattack. And TLO, does he have enough to defend back at home? Oh, we're dropping some frames. Hopefully everything is okay. Oh my god. Yes, we do see the Archons pushing on forward. Again, they get a really decent position. The base is going to be going down. 11 drones go down as well. but we need more damage as Arrogfire is pushing on forward. Banelings do finish up in time. Where the Novas will not connect. The Archons will a great job at tanking though. And we're getting on top of the Ravagers. We have DTs in the mix. We have no detection. Arrogfire is just going to be able to snowball out of control. Sure, he lost the mineral line, but I mean, TLO, he poked the bear. He doesn't have enough to defend against his counterattack. He's got a couple of roaches on the way, but the Novas go off and GG gets called. Arrogfire takes the series 2-0, eliminating TLO. GG. GG. I apologize for those drop frames. Actually, I don't think that was on my end. I'm looking at OBS and I didn't actually lose any frames. That may have just been latency. Someone may have been lagging in game. Regardless. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Arrogfire. A shout out to TLO for competing tonight. And even though he may have struggled here a little bit against Arrogfire, he was looking so strong and so powerful earlier against Fiant. And he didn't look too bad in game 1 against Arrogfire as well. Didn't look too bad. He well played. Congratulations, or should update. Update the admins, but GG, well played. Arrogfire does advance on into the next round, where he has a Protoss player ready and waiting for him. I believe he's going to be going up to face off against Nice.